Shouting out to you, Ebo JB. Have a good day, Mr. Ebo JB. To you, Nana Kufia Pia Sante. You all go ahead and have a beautiful day. To you, Kwabia, as well.
Peace FM
104.3 yetwa ye jumedie so Mayor of Kumasi eye Ura Sampain Maje
Ami di ochama general.
Boko de
Ami na tumpa ye bibi aboko.
na inti Kokrokoo sise o makra biom
Oh beba na woni politics aye no. And I'm pa obi tu the other ye bia no obi nso e de ya de foforo. And now no bia me ba ya me no be di komo just 1.5 hours, you know.
Yeah.
That would be actually to post that wa abandon the office na kwata kan or you be wa no dan na som na ne yeso. Nti chama me ba. Would you say no more wait ma won't be here.
Oba Kokrokoo so yesi dey wa abandon post.
Wa ku ya me dem no nse so nye na we ja kwata radio so. The nuances of
Mo politics into your papa ni.
I be obi o ha o adi bi tia obi o ha we ye den enye ofe. Me kai pa say ye koye adwuma bi ene de.
Some papa joma no suka krebi.
Ye koye adwuma bi ye the big guns ye the big RS Bloomberg International Initiative for Road Safety International Road Safety. And ye come MTT the force big guns. More than once, it's in a record about 200 vehicles within a minute. Meaning, you know, they're posting on Facebook, or even the matter for that. It's a hard to crowd, and will be of her who sat a day. And yes, I go no, and could go post Munti. And on the say, the WB and the Fetty Chama, a grand baby, a very abo, my gun, and a buy.
Anope okaya emrebia etwemu interestingly Kokrokoo ya so na mede assembly 2 enim na aka chem so ayade amoye ho adwuma efa kanea ewo schools ho na oka chem says in the pipeline plans are far advanced na mi huro kakra se pipeline di humutintin but yenyane ntie se 15 beneficiary schools. Schools are now omode dwantoa abremo. Efa kanea mu school ho yeso ye tibia me bisa wo. Ehun komo etesai.
Ye chama me da se Manchester for program.
Ye Jos ye nyina ye Jos.
Chairman, lukra woni me kan sa asem. Da den school kanea nko. Na ye about Kumasi. And Kenya.
Yeah, near si Kumasi ayusum.
Yes, yes, crop baby the Muba Kumasi, Uba to Liberia, so back baby a family next soon. Ufa, system no can say if you airport run about to Sofo line, a fix of dealing in a lot of lightening up of the city now. You go so here. School dear no hear me pa na Boku senior high school. Headmaster Reverend Osusechre Eddie Tuba new said Misuku Muho dormitories no ne classroom no or more young Kanya. Apart from that no campus no akasan so ehia and Kanya. It may be kind Emma Yakobu ball street lighting there were some of the schools say Yopokuware Tia Mass Master Girls Master Anglican Senior High School. I'm doing be preaching will be able to say what they're so decided for my school. So they are not
everybody try from website.
A lot of the schools, Omobeka will now decided say see a 2 and more. If it's especially form of we a baby school. No, yes, I with 3 things in mind. One, Bob's never supply man schools do no would be 200 no. About 3,000 bulbs now. Energy saving bulbs. into one near the share the electricity bill of the institutions at those senior high schools. No. Two, near the share enhancing security within the classrooms and the environs. If we say, why would you may have a Nema Mutimi Yano? Would you put Jawa more and some no obedience? It's never enhance visibility was our areas. And at three, the educational outcomes are a beboa, a moment there in good conducive atmosphere. Not the teacher for near church for more trouble mono. To be media prep, no, and your baby, I got not being coffee, being an for. The chairman, when that motivate here, say, and a more assembly to be between and anno, the demand won't say, or more and coche, the demand, the presenting the director, Metro Director of Education, and also hand you over my chat, national president, coincidentally, no, side headmaster of Pokuare, and also the man. TI Islamic School headmaster, on the regional chairman of Charles Ewashan's region, and Quanti schools share massive, which is about 15 senior high schools and one technical. That's massive technical institutes. No, yeah, these are the
I see. Na Empacho Unia Kuma James Kwabna Bonfair friend Kabila. Or Saint Mimisa Sentinel and one Kai Prempe College, baby Obra Peninsula there. And now we refer to Ahoye King's College.
There be Prempe to say, one more class, as you know, I could be, if I was saying, fathers. But notwithstanding that, and they say, in St. Louis College, secondary school, I could be for a but almost the request be for street lights in a mama electrical department said. Next week, normal compo. Well, it's within the greater Kumasi. This week, there will more be a bit me after, but I am a priority. No, first of all, to the Kumasi metropolis. People who are that's a more be at the Bepua, the Bepua, or Poswaka. And I prefer the seven I'm a baboy and when Papa in the school. I have an affiliation with that school. Apart from so guests in the best school, I have an affiliation with that school too, through that. And
Kabila you want na sometimes baby ucheche na omosaka sanya maybe according to reporter yeso yensa aka efasade hu baby omusum bae no omodoso kakra wetimi ahwe omunyina making sure say yenya sa wahala ibium because mate say there are a few schools are Omosaka, Sadi, TI, Amas, Yabomudi, Armed Forces, Unisaba Suja, Deni Bibi, Amebimbi. Armed Forces are Bemubi. Quite a number of schools, J. Kofo Senior High, Anglican Senior, Sewanyako Girls, Kumasi Technical Institute, Asanteman Islamic Senior High Schools, Wesley High, Adventist. Are we okay now?
We are so much. I know say will be infrastructure deficit war. Yes, senior high schools are buying JP by Yensa and so anyway. Into we say no, a headmaster being money, or say half a loaf is better than no bread at all. We are say a better was so, and I'm a kind of with street lighting, for instance. Some forces are going with him.
Yeah.
They're the biggest beneficiary. Almost every corner of the street now, they have fixed the Biama or Mukwajura appreciation letter praying classic girls. Then I say for a lot of the schools within the classic catchment area, we are helping to do that. Don't say, I always have the belief that building a society, the human capital is very important. It is me building one capacity yeah that bar and it might be prayer a twist of the Indian super boy see Chairman General Yegusu then Yamu with them say between society.
Sampanya that's no pay me a sure say besan baby team come on. Now you better him so Kokrokoo.
Chairman Miss me that's me papa and say me pen for better no mama bre na Miss my baby Puana Ghana Yaya Chichiri.
Yeah, then Yamiasi. Bruni Becca, have a good day.
Thanks, and same to you, bro.
Sampine Mayor Kumase Ewo Peace 104.3.
Peace FM.
Anope yani kojo opon nkroma aye mrahye bedwani ma kojo any friends yempo Ofuasin Ayerebi Osanso Minister in charge of information Twitwen. We're talking about Boko. And when you talk about Boko, you can't talk about Boko without mentioning a man called Mahama Ayariga, Member of Parliament, Boko. Good morning, Mr. Ayariga.
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
Very well. I haven't seen you in a million years.
I know. We need to catch up.
We need to. How have you been?
I'm okay.
Great,
It's
great.
been tough, but we're hanging in there.
Exactly the reason why I'm calling you. The toughness of it all.
Yeah.
What is happening in Boko? Talk to me. Yesterday, there was a purported enskinment of a chief. And I don't know, the security situation and all that. It's your constituency. What's going on?
It's been unfortunate, but as you will know, the underlying issue in Boko is about the Kusasi people who are the landowners and in the overwhelming majority wanting to rule themselves. There's a pre-colonial history, and then also a post-colonial history in which the chieftaincy has been moving from one ethnic group to the other until 1983, when the PNDC, sought to place it in the hands of Kusasi, which is consistent with what the colonial authorities themselves, who orchestrated Mampu's rule in Boko, when they were also living, they actually also sought to change it through Lord Listowell's committee, so that it would be the Kusatis, because they are the landowners and they are in the overwhelming majority. My uncles, the Mampushis, have been fighting this, since, God knows when. And unfortunately for them, we came under constitutional rule. You were right.
Yeah.
We came under constitutional rule, and then under constitutional rule, nobody can, touch the institution of chieftaincy other than what it is now.
Yeah.
So the issue has been on and off, as you will know.
Yes.
Until yesterday, when they also decided to go to Nalerugu and then forcefully have themselves seen as a rival authority in the Boku area. And the response of government says it all, which is basically that, look, you can't do this. It's unconstitutional, it's illegal, indeed it is criminal, and therefore we're asking the police authorities to deal with it as such. So that's a very apt response and summarizes what I think is the way that everybody should approach it, except to say that saying one thing and not doing it could actually be the cause of the problem. So once government takes the position that this was not right, it's not consistent with what our constitution dictates, and therefore anybody who carries himself about as a rival chief is committing a crime, and therefore the police should deal with that person. And that's there's no better position than that. The question is just enforcement.
Okay. Unfortunately, you mentioned that what happened yesterday forcefully. Why would anybody want to forcefully do what you just mentioned?
Well, I told you that they've been fighting over the years, demanding 10 left here, demanding that they should also be chiefs. They've been fighting over the years. So I think that the Nairi should have held the line for as long as possible, because for several decades now, he's held the line and resisted this pressure. I don't know why he has yielded to the pressure and then gone ahead to do what he has done.
What was it done with his consent?
Well, he was in the palace, and I don't know. At this advanced age, sometimes people lose control over situations. So,
Yeah.
being my grandfather, I am reluctant to go after him. But those who would have supervised this clearly haven't done well for the peace of the area. And it's now left to the government to be firm and ensure that the right thing is done, which is to enforce the law that states that the Kusasi should rule over the place.
You mentioned earlier history, politics, tradition, and all of that. I know for a fact that you belong to both sides.
Yeah.
I think your mother is what, Mamprusi, or your father is
Yes. Yes.
Your mother is
Mamprusi,
Mamprusi and your father is
exactly.
Kusasi.
Yeah.
So you're caught in this mix. How does it feel for you? How are you able to reconcile yourself to all of this?
Well, I mean, it puts you in a difficult situation because when you speak and it doesn't favor your mother's, they say you are taking your father's side. When you speak and it doesn't favor your father's, then they say you are supporting your mother's. But there's the law and there's the politics of it and there's the political reality. The law, as it is now, stands in favor of the party, which is what the Constitution, what the Supreme Court has done, what PNDC Law 75 has ordained. It all goes in favor of Kusasi.
That's your father's side.
That's my father's side. Now, the political reality of it also, which is basically that, look, I mean, for Kusasi, this is like an anti-colonial struggle. When people are in the absolute majority, when they own the land, and there's no dispute about the fact of they owning the land.
That's the Kusasis.
The Kusasis. And then, there's also no doubt that at a certain point in history, Mampushis were also chiefs in that area. Now, so the thing is that even if you were chiefs, as the British were in charge here, and in charge in most of Africa, and the French were in charge in most of Africa, and the Portuguese and all those colonial authorities. It gets to a point where the indigenous demand that, look, we want to handle our own welfare, we want to take care of ourselves, we want to rule over ourselves and our land. And when it gets to that time, you would have to come to terms with the political reality and admit that, the people have to be given the mandate to rule over themselves. And that's how I think the government and the law and the Constitution and the Supreme Court have sought to resolve the issue. Anytime I say this, my uncle will say, he's taking sides with his father's people. But it's not just that I'm taking sides, but it's just that that's the reality. And then I feel obliged to be truthful to them because, otherwise we are just descending into chaos. And unfortunately, on both sides, when there are casualties, it just turns out that I know everybody or they are related familiarly, and you don't benefit from the ongoing violence, and you don't think that it will change anyway. I mean, it will not change. You can do whatever you want to do. The Kusasi will insist on their autonomy and their right to rule themselves. Unfortunately, they have the backing of the law now, and they have the backing of the Constitution. They have the backing of government. People used to say, it was the NDC government that was backing them because of violence. But now the NPP government also, by word of mouth, backs them now. So on both sides of the political divide, there seems to be a consensus now that they should be allowed to rule themselves. So, increasingly, my uncles, the Mampushis, are losing out. And, as hard as I try to explain to them that it's time to give up, they see me differently, and then I just run into trouble with them every day. But I will not give up on being realistic and being firm in terms of what the right thing is, because ultimately you don't accept to the peril of all of us.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Finally, if I may ask, I don't envy your situation at all. Your father is a Kusasi, your mother is a Mamprushi, and they are at each other's necks. Will we ever see calm in this area? You've been MP for years, you're a son of the soil. From your point of view, would we ever see calm?
Well, I mean, there shouldn't have been a problem if people were pursuing their claims using lawful means. Because you can dispute, even within the same family.
Yes.
There are disputes over who is a queen, who is a king, who is a chief. Well, so long as you do it using lawful means, people will generally not mind. It is when you resort to the use of violence that will be a problem. If they were challenging in court or houses of chiefs, the day they are going, we'll organize law fair for them to go, and they will probably accompany them, go and sit in the gallery and observe proceedings, and go home and continue our lives. It is a choice of violence as a mechanism to vindicate claims that worries all of us. So, violence hardly ever resolves any issue, because even when the substantive issue is no longer the real issue, then the fact of you having killed my brother becomes an issue.
Yeah.
And the fact that I haven't killed your sister becomes an issue. And even though we might forget about chieftaincy, we might not forget about our brothers and sisters who were killed by people that we know. And we have to live with the same people in the same community and have children, and our children will grow in the same community and learn that their uncles and aunties were killed by each other. So that is, for me, the worry. And that is why, even after all this, we'll have to deal with the trauma of the level of violence that we have seen in Boko.
Yeah. Whew. I wish you well, Mahama. I wish you well.
Thanks, my brother. So let's catch up.
Sure, we'll do. Have a good one.
Thank you, sir.
Mahama Ayariga, MP, Boko Central, Peace 104.3.
Yes, sir.
Machi,
Yeah, you're in it.
Boko for na baby.
Yeah, really, baby.
Pro Boko for na baby. Me no di san komo em say akeka ko 20 years old boy. Say utini esi enra no.
Say almost see or him
omuni ho kwan. Na omwesi. Na mene Mahama Yaiga kasa sisi yi. Obi so de enkra breme. Nti meka ye no so. Dr. Nchaka Machi Akwaba.
Yeah, yeah.
Miracles.
Senior.
Ohuye.
Oh, divine selection. So what are you?
Yo, divine
You
selection.
should trust, have a firm belief in divine.
We should. Because we be no na wama. And now we about chama.
Divine selection at kind.
Prof, Abrante be your friend Dr. Bugri. Chairman General, it is not true that the Kusasis are the landowners. It is also not true the colonialists that made Mamprusis chief in Boko. Mamprusis were chiefs in Boko long before the arrival of the colonialists. I am attaching a picture for you to see where Mamprusis started being chiefs. Then check when the colonialists arrived in the north and check the dates. It is offensive for Mahama Yaiga to claim that because of old age, maybe the Nairi might not be sound to have overseen their skinning. The hypocrisy being shown by Yaiga is nauseating. They don't own the land. You should read the Kenamenyela Committee report on Boko lands, and you see clearly who the owners of the land in Boko are. It is people like him who are the problem of Boko. How can it be independence when at the time the Mamprusis were chiefs, the Kusasi villages were ruled by Kusasis, Bisa villages by Bisas, and the 6 Mamprusi villages ruled by Mamprusis? This peddling of falsehood has to stop. Dr. Bugri. Inti or the original chiefs of Boko ayi akaho 1771 all the way to 1981. Prof.
Yes, sir.
Ebe yini.
Kwame.
Yeah, ja.
I just said jam me babum.
Because ohodo ntokwano sese isro kese pa ewo emayema nyina eye etuatefo a ewo Burkina, Niger, Mali a ntokwano ometim yom ha for mu sese e ka say yes over 4,000 refugees every Burkina era Ghana na Boko yan hweni ya ebibu aka yesim once banks be brave free ho nyuma free ho doctors ko teachers ko nurses ko
Chairman, I seen a pregnant woman 25 in the womb over the weekend.
1 week near I pay for over 25 omanya hospital bi anko omawu and so sisi ani ayariga ka say hweni abugiri so de aba na chese
Yeah, take his stance.
yeah
Kwame.
I was na ayariga ka say no ne papa ekusa ni maami e mampurusi nti oka wa ha ye say oka ma ne papa mfo oka wa ha ye say oka ma ne maami fo prof yenye den
Kwame.
yeah ja
Asem we no. Me kan kana. Esan say me nimu kakra o.
It's a peace council.
Yes.
President Kufuor Breso.
Yes. Kwame. Yeah, office na ewo literacy house.
Our rich.
Na ukuada ye to yensa frɛ Mamprusi for do. Na Cardinal Texan na eye yenche.
Yeah.
Na Wahab Adams eye vice.
Okay.
Na nipa bebre ka ho ye members no. Na Otabe.
Also for Tabel.
Otabe ka ho. Professor Irene Odote.
Professor Irene Odote.
Ye nyina ho. Iti Mamprusi for no ba ya obuka bibi fasa ase no ho. Na omuka ahemfo sem na senia ehoye omode afa ahen kwame ye ti onyina obi ade den say godbusu say no
ye Mamprusi for na ka sa kire mu
say pa na asemi dia na say kusasefo enka omuni asem bia enaja ye de tintim ye nkrata na ye ja omkwan na de chia ya wada na kusasefo no ba em say papa na onyan baby ko in the bugri
Matt
lawyer no
yeah in the bugri
yes come so ba wura asem no gu ho that say ba ukuada no so that say omuni point bia he ya na ye gira mfimfin say nti sankofo emienu pa hwan na o ka asem no mu enokre a kire obisa obia be connect to send a catch the abase say
yeah
actually send an assassin ye omode a om na hindie ehye om nsa asa na we no beto om eti kwame eye ya ma ye tu adwafri nkran ha akọ boss sen wo bolga ena ye free bolga kọ ho eba ma ye frame mabunu ma ne mema nyina be hia ye bolga na ya kan ya na ejis oh ya wie so we tia we te ha kusasi ni na Mamprusi ni omu didi no omu sresre kama na ya sign of cross so baby ade ekwa die was ntokwan dodo na amaburu na de ba eti ye kra ma yete youth ambassador ewo
boko
na ewo a na ya han bus efiri ho ama wo aba nkran ha omba ya makwan na omo telegon
campus
yes ya pe baby ama wo na prof Irene onu no di animu na ofre lectures ahoro African studies nkrofo bi ba ombeka ahensem no maka anthropology no maka omaka bibia ebia na otwe aho kan nyina ye UNDP for eka eba ye account National Peace Council no do omko no omayi ball ewo ekwafo park ni ade come
man pusili kusas no ball
yes chasa ni kankra onnim se omko duro zat aduro bi na ya te so omo so ontimi hu ya boka we nyina omko duro pe
ombe ball fefe wa
ombo ball di asresre higher presentation ni ade omko duro pe se de na esi ho enti ye sa kopem se ye bi me free National Peace Council obakaya ya mefa ne crazy how are Yakubu umse ya shini fie na
ya shino shini fie dre
jobe enu achi kwame emusuo ba ko a ewo se ne minim hwe kra akamma ne se oba pemfo a yekosie no
yeah
etitete no kra na surgery ni ade man no na e traditional phobia se oba enyinsen na owua yonkofo bi wo krumu a mema bi a ombabu ayi akwara na free mu
esa
oh yes well yensie opemfo ne ba no
yensie
dabi aye musuo kese etina na sa omo tete habanro mpanfo bi a omnim ye no omo kwan mfa so ye kude no motimi ayi abofra na free mu
say abofra na wu na otia sikra ye bi
esi yi free mu okosi omienu preko pesa yenim se adimusuo bi bebrasa ase no
okay
enti yanyi no free mu ansa enti se obi ekuratuo ono so nyame na abo no
send the
seso bi na ohwe oba pemfo na bibia nkasa nkyere no ahonim bia ni ho adwene bia no also odituo no bebo oba pemfo a dia so no ye modua o kwame na nyamba bi o ho a
eso aboni hudua
oh yes sa wo betram wi ase
FM
nyame te wontam kra kwakwa na wanyamfo because the obefam ansa na obewuo no kwame onum say dipa bi omo te ho omo nwi na omo fa pro what be that yes because oh yeah ya niam we num nyina wia kwame some way say me kan ba bia na eha me kakra okay yenua harunata
me ka ba me na me ne sa interview
exactly
now what them have is that ba ko time ya na de ne ba no
na o say entokwa no betwa emfiri obia
if you mo
omankasa ekasa entokwa no ntwa ebetwa come god eka aban bo oda hwe dagbonde na eka aban boy na de yan se eba enam se omumienu enka nti no na ya befa ayi odate bi free nkran ha yes de no ko na akofa amaka bi oho na akofa akabi na ya abo aten bi yes mon kompatantokwa mona bi amukọ ebetwa na ye bom hoka no wagya ne mma ne yire ewase ha se nkora no suku obekọ se ono na akotra ha opatantokwa ma enye mo ankasa mo fere na onipa mienu e kasa sesiye ya se ayariga bekasa oye MP wasua ngumadru akiri ene ya
oye lawyer ni mwa
osa ye lawyer ene MP fuwe omo ye PhD ni masters kan ho bia bebre to so ana do de ayin ba no ono so a PhD
ono so a PhD bugri so a PhD
yes nti se nguma suam wo bibia a be ma oman atumpa esa krache for na etumi ekasa kyerɛkyerɛ nneɛma mu ɛkyerɛ ɔmo nkrɔfoɔ no sɛ adeɛ wei ni wei nokora no ni wei a yɛ wode toto nyansa ho a mutwe
hey prof on sena prof aka said ode toto nyansa ho a emutwe Professor Yaku o say asem na ye ka no weni we that way what the toto nyansa ho a
emutwe
prof taso
enti se nwomasuam mo bibia nka se ye nuanum a omasuam nwoma chiri a omaye logic say na tie dia say na eseba enti no minuanum me ye hwe mu a ye mienu trans ye hwe no asam na ye de kwaha ana asomdue baba ye ka say ye ni say ya twema ntwe na ma akra boy kra no bebo boku begu enipa bewu apemfo bewu na asase no ene ahemfo no a omu ntini ye kunkum ye ho no omu te ho se pito no omu wio se de dom wo ho na ye kunkum ye ho isan se aboja bumba ohiani na niema yira o ye kan obi ho a entokwa ni sie no o keska o de be fakai edru bolga atoaso so obasia house so ordinary e trend of wrongo okọ but obi ho a kes kakra o de trotro mu afri ho akokoro edi so no ni bi sankofo no e na ese enwoma nimfo yi a omosua nwoma a omunim din omutumi bo omo ho bai na ekoba se omienu nyina obi a twea akopem dabai
menim
enkopem dabai come eti ye bo mu din a omo mfare vizam fie be edunum ni akire sei mente se obi ka se boko asem we si ho enigimo amomemo yensem ma wo mo entansi de betie bia boko utim predict utim ka so boko ne ebo ndin de ebe se entokwa bia si
ono kwa
omno kwa no na utumi ntra kroba kope o kroba kope sika ngase ya de bechichire sa kro no boko ba bia drodo se enka yatumi asi training colleges ahodo ne ene
tena mo boko training college
ene secondary school ahodo ena ya de campus university aba esoro yi ebi campus wo ho a enka ya kancha wo mo esanse ba bia wo no ye na hwan no ba prince ya mfa ne campus ba ko enko boko
dabe
ade abatwe na ya mutu ya wo yefa enti ankrofo na trase enkanka omo anyame aboa omo amomosua nwoma no na omunyai se we atwe ha because obase ha yende yenim hwe ye fra omu nyina ye ka omu nyina bom so mo ye nipa ba ko obi ko so omi ko srem yenim se we kusase ni na we mamprusi na we kan jaga na ye nim bibia sa enti se omanka omu ho ambomu a na akrachefo no because National Peace Council dey nkwa no mbetumi aye national security dey nkwa no mbetumi aye omtumi nkowurawura nkofo piem enhu se we adwene papa bi na ya ne na ya dwuma ya fra no owura bio amako Bureau of Ghana Languages nwoma bi ya nwoma ni din de etreni safoa come said nipa nam ho se me ne mrantie wa he se bi kurasafo mitimi bie wo mo adwene mu hunu se na wo mu a kwame ka wonam a nipa bi wa wo hia na wodwane but enu ni ho nti so mo ne nam ho agofo di dwane ade e kobe unnim adwena e wo bi se ntokwa no ebetwa kwame efri bokofo na kusasefo ne mampurusifo no akrachifo mu nsore asofo a wo mu nsore nkramofo a e wo mu ensore wasa ye be konkremo dem akosoma na awie na ye be fatua faso obi anim se ye be kwa akobọ tongues kwasiada ne fiada ne hwa na awie na opemfo nam na atutu obo no amfaso obi ani so ene nke enya nyamsom kra na omo hwe na eto da bi a omo ade ono kwandodo
Dr. Ben, any comments?
Prof,
Sani Okbo Haruna Tadi nkra me kai pa.
Yes.
That morning. Once Haruna Tasu ne fi na aden amene.
Yes.
Na amene no.
Sa omwan kasa ho nye omomobo a ese yen e wase ha ye de adwena call say asomdwe mra no ese ye omomobo no mu ja ache yen
Chairman, as no penny I can then pa na me be ka ho bio. Esan say ono ye peace council member. Omo de omo akọ. Any miracles di nkomo of o say ono so kọ ho. Ko hia bi na I design or hwe action movie. Ba committee one of your sister station na mpanin bi wo ho a ase na omo ko di nkomo. Omo te ya say tuo na ya toto saa. Asi sebi asi ye di agro. Na chairman ntokwa ya yenim ne fa bi kire se omo a ehye kire sponsor no dodo na mpo nti krom ho. Omo a etuo na ekuro omo chairman who dey be say tuo buo. Ebi buo den pa.
Enye bete.
Ebi na nipa na ho sebi nipa na ntumi ntotuo no. Na obi I have to restrain myself that much. Say obi a sebi na dwene nifie atotu ama say gina fa kokko ntokwa. Ande na nipa na ono amfa nko gina akono no ono amfa nko. Na ono de ama ono te baabi. Odwodwo no ho. Enti ese ebo di hye mmera enye, ebo di tu mmera so enye. Enti enkosi dabai. Na chama enye bia den na omo pre ho. Se bia unima, de omo pre den ho.
Hwan na be di hene?
Oh, ahinie.
Eno.
We radinya gopo ho yomobo.
Prof.
Ahinie.
Dr. Bugri Diaba. I say Prof is right. It is really, really sad.
Yes.
As some now talking about a peace council near there. Ahinie.
Ahinie.
Kusasi for the man preach.
Chairman ti say nipa ni nyina wu na ye besi ohene a wani beje. Hwan na beso awo. There's no leader without followers. Enti omuntu omuhufo. Obedi ohene nipa ba ko person obetimi adi ohene no. Na hwe nipa ahwere omunkwa wo nti. Edu baby na nka wugya ahiye ni manokwa na nka yeden. Den ye pe. Me de akra me council chairman.
What they talk.
Police for national security ya yes. My say Minister for Information ka say omo a omo hu wo mu no ye beche wo. Em say du baby a o say
Dabi abandi atudwa say nipa na ogitum say yesi ne hene wo boko no.
O se eche no.
O se eche no.
Yes.
Ana omo ya omo ya nyina o se eche omo nyina.
O se nkaba na no pay ya bo ekoboten.
But ana pay me bisa akudwo pon kroma time am needing common say yenkwochi no ebetimi asan Kenya ntokwa no mu biom. How about that?
Chema say ye hwe ne saa so anifa bi no. Echina obehu na ya sense ohene foforo because you see ne wo hodeda no ni din wo nkratem so na ye hene on free wo eda na ekosi hene foforo se omo ye na omo wo adwirpo bi wo mutrim se omo bu an no mpese ntokwa na ekoso
Dr. Bugri hem say na don na ye program no I say I was caught up in the conflict one day. It had to take Abdul Malik Kwekubako and the Honorable Kwame Nabatels to get me out of Boko.
Hey, na koku so ti akra na o connect ni ama. Bombay. Na chama senior koku o ko leave and so ko retirement.
O leave. O betin nkan jebia.
Onye no mra na yakra. Chama me say entokwa nya ade ese nipa so. Enti se abampani fo se ombabua na omo afomra no ye beche o ma ye nche o animanim ya na enye emmo nipa bi hu se ade ya mekoye ma hwe emra ne mbedi se enye hwe ana maga na ye bre yo obi akoye ade pa to bi o se o e de enye hwe na ukoba bi e se ho fe ba bi o asomdwe ho we e nipa na ma asomdwe ho chama hwe sojafo edo omukoguo sika o
papa
sika ya de hwe soja fo logistics aduane
fuel ration
chairman to me see hospital bi ensa okrom ho to me see school ho to me mi adwuma 1D 1F ya minya ya na nka mi ensa o mikromi sika ya de ya ho anka to me see factory mienu e wo boko ho mani pa nya adwuma nye
e bi an inform ho
ma akwa kwesi se doctor se okrom ho se o muntumi ntra obi omoko na mi anka mi se ntra ho
no nya de onko tra onye
chairman no ese so ko na yakan obi so te baabi a innocently ono onim ntokwa yaka se onfa adua mo wansena kora onye o so ono mom ne ho kire no ono mom bebre adentra nipa kakra bi obi ahini obi pese ye soa no wo na kofu dua na twa homa se ho na to si so si MC ya so niema ni bi so ma na chedodo chairman se niema ni bi wo ho a se dagbon na problem ho sa no so ahini president ati eminent chiefs ema enne asomdua ba ti edu ba bi na say president there was say ye mfa ye ho hihia ahenie nu ho but edu ba bi a national issue we are beyond just the people of Boko. Now I don't envy the MP nipa ba ko pe ono or both sides sanka wo hwe ni papa mu a he's the only person and I say he's among the few on ko betu agina ahyehema abotoyema ba enso se ne be ya betie no ebi ni so okokan ha say wakota ma me mochi okokan ha akota nti ono ofihi it belongs to both nti daben na mo betra sia ka se am on record this same studio me say nti ye kan akosi daben nti mo ankasa mo mre eye ni wu si da bia o de okrom tok o be da nya tourist am o ma ba okrom o be da nya damfo bi wakasa o chairman me no ko okrom makohwe ho se ne ho sitike
ye botu ho
ye botu ho ye dey so una sama bank na ma benya sika kakra mbo na msi mesi dan na da kosi dan ho nti development na ye ka na nya ade hu bia o we kakra na na be ma ho mpuntu aba nti omunya omtu omhofo omso omuntu omhofo dia then the government should apply the coercive power
and I apply
nti osanka no pe ya chinipa more than 50
DC or Amansia South Kwame Poku CID or the very interesting angle biaba. As a chairman general, in all these, we've all forgotten the efforts of the DC there. Let us all share in the pain and struggle of the DC for Boko, because it is certainly not a good time to be the chairman of the District Security Council. The district will spend all their revenue on this conflict. The central government will have to spend millions to fight this conflict. I am speaking as a DCE. I am happy Miracles is there. He will testify. It appears some people seek delight in perpetuating conflicts. Say no to conflicts.
Chema, ba unim say ntokwasi so ebi musu nya so mfa so.
Oh yes, that's it. In conflict there's always opportunity.
Tisango fu omede no maka jirom so munyai. Ese aban ne mamrane no omunni. Say susu ampa say Chema General no ye a host of the station. And answer of the program now obe echena be ba na yese meto o meye esese me kotena ho ana ubisa ho enti nia ensese ono man ho kwan say ye share oni esi wo hiniu say open esu omunyina esese ye yim ye chi omunyina ne ma mrade ne omundi ensa next year chama ba san be tena be kan se mo ye bio na opani gas wa kan 15 years ni no wan hwe next year be san be kan bio there must always be an end.
Minya Bako Abu Isa Money.
They know
Hanu. As you say, on Oko TV3, I call CBG. I'll say, I feel sad for Ayariga. I find myself related to either side. And personally, I am a Bisa, which is a minority ethnic group. And whenever it spills over, we the Bisas are accused of supporting one side or the other. It is not an envious position to me at all. Just okitra ko ni maku. No Bisa ni no. Omo ya na from the abeswam. Prince Donyina, former MC Techiman, or say DCE Kwame Poku has spoken the truth. I lived it too. Tell Dr. Ben that those people are called merchants of war. they benefit from the evil enterprise. Miracles.
Senior.
Yes, I mean, so.
Senior, it's how Boko is some.
Miracles.
Especially.
Prof, we be seeing beside say, as some kind says, so the Tutunyan San Juan emotional distance near Bessing. Master Planner Junior Kentampo, yes, you are for Adrian. Miracles, who know IDC that?
Senior.
Yes, I mean, so.
One of the most difficult idea back one, and when you ma timpa or Ghana member, and I hear some.
It's a popular enough for more.
Popular enough for
Papa. Because there's also a certain long-standing conflict between the political class and traditional authorities.
Yeah.
There's a prof media dance here.
And if it colonial times.
I say,
refit the bond of 1844.
Yes.
You know.
Ayemuyebi, that's what. It's Omakasa Kromunyo mom issues now Bekebia or who you first. And so I become myself. It's here, me can't. I ain't some na. I'm be careful. But me, my making very blanket statement be that which is grounded on fact. Say Ghana, yeah how back kesiye back pa chieftaincy issues. Baby abe kubia ufano na the pen now take it here. Yeah how back pa no.
Ahensam.
Eka ho. They ewo structures in name. Niema enko yi a ye ka ho asem a ye complain e bia e be blame civil servant e be blame political class obekọ na ahemfo no so e ka ho galam say nsem a ye ka wo ka we obekọ no mo ka ho insanse ho man so twe obekọ no mo ka ho e just say almost every stage of it no omo ka ho na yen so ye cheche mra no ankasa ye say ye de guide ye democracy e bia senior yes so bia ye mistake kakra in a sense ye craft him rano as ye omu free mu enti ye omu free mu nti de obakoto a certain as a buffer zone bi just a professor do abo me onum ade na say emra ne cheche na cheche no me nim say my explain here as a emra ne cheche no en cheche no because in your structure no ya shade create specific mandate role any obligations we are more and when we can asem you recognize the chiefdom no and the traditional craft no ye jitum but ya sheda amfa subobi anasudi bia antom so and at the same time so no because I am part of your social cultural values so no your science so hold you in a very high esteem it am ho nsem ka ayet when you say our him do okro mo powerful cry say mampanin for ne for anyway very 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 powerful simply because o movie crowd no o movie masses no
yeah
o hini bia no senior wo ahode nyina ne o manfo ediwechi
yeah
eno na ase
aboa no ne ntakra da me hunu ne kese
that's
it eno ne situation no nti me because the MC you can say me through book say a 400 pages 350 pages ebe ahensem
your experiences
yes because say me swear me na me call office na me wo chieftaincy issues dey happen better
say mean pa
na ko to na me to e cry me start to cry casualty of war because o kan sem na hu baby a okwa free
yeah
baby a do kwakoto and I walk out one kind of years who are we offend the sensitivities of a group of people
now yeah branches one have say because
yes. But I can tell you say yeah how back up I all my way chieftaincy structure I him now I am for no to send ya opening kai no so mo tell no more kai history natural one aso no mo ho say obi one side Canada obe kan pe na media mami hu say the eke nyina ye boa ye nyina boa senior even ye cry ye ekwapem cry stories no eso say na krobi aka na dey
yeah
in fact ade ba ko me hu Ghana say krobi at the bar first krobi and the bar first na ye na no body ba ko mo ye pa no obi ka story man dey ye de kro bie no wa na na bie no wa okaji tu mu se me dey mba na me yakoa kro bia kama no ho enti ye cry ye de ye cry ncheye yen ya ye betu aka say yen ye de ncheye ya ye chechire ye ncheye kra ukoti a obalata story ni different ukwa predia story ni different ukwa kropon a different ukwa the wu a different ukwa obi a be catch us say time we mba na ye ho me krom lata kra kroni mu ankasa kra no ure mu a story ni different from as to ebusi omoba first
yes
ya na edin no edin no oh ya no maka edin no so you start me kro ka say abejede me fi abejede o maka so abejede ne che say abechede na so omuduru ho no ne say mo mane ha hwe say tine ye wo ho so mo mane ye obi so be ka che so na me wa ha intime so ye frame amanfo na me say yes wo beduru ye no che say o maka stories no in a way a ebema ase omasefo ne ni age say ye na no mbo mo ho moden enne ye problem it is how oral tradition bi na ase yachi na no ene akato ye nyina yetim ko me wo bake apema abutechi form sorry so nza mampon form story obi enu obe ka daagya tum se me de me ba na me meti se bi ti se na yase na ekodu ebo bi ene ebo no yase edin so obegu so ene be fifi ebi mu so se ente sa na the same ene okwekopo ahen se momo ko ntoko nyina your oral traditions ne how it passed on
obankai say wo shem bo say obema mbuku
I'm the mom so I just say na ade ba ko so say ye throw a obi e throw ade no from the perspective
yeah
nti ya ka de na funtum afra ama bibia sei nti nka me de anka madwum no nka somdwe beba nka ye nyina ye nte ase ne nka so obi ade betu yeso ye ntro ye de say ye nanan so mo fi bebi na bai no wo man kan fi bebi o mo fi no obetan say we fi Nigeria Ghana ebuzu na say half obi a if you fi Nigeria ebi fi ehe Israel fo nyina ka ho yeso ye ntro foforo no be enya na de nto nche because until we get to that point if we say we are going to fight for ancestral legacies and stories on market change there see there you be sure man know because be anyone the chrome story yes you know ya kwada obi eni ho ye nyina ye ka kire yen into corona wo nananom ka kire so omo no omo ba asenko ukokro ni mu a omo so be ka kire so omo de nti sa omo so be ka say wo chrome fo no na omo so ye nkoa and the amount of money tell me say we share boko MC now offer me 3 days ago now I say a Zoom meeting bi we say about the social cohesion project bi ko $150 million project abaya kobo besia from World Bank akọ north 48 districts all the districts in the northern region to provide social cohesion projects now some project there and say aban say sa Burkina hono ne border no so terrorism on sensam ni ade ninti no yesi ekoye special investment bi a ebema districts no communities e wasa area ho no o be resilient ni say o metumi agina o monan so say na be terrorism no any attractive to them when the tourists o ba o be ma uska
asman kan ba baby sa no say
o be ma uska o dey o be entice with goodies ni ade na wakodi akiri enti ye the $150 million ko me no ka say $150 million eko ho to ensure say you be building local economy no nti e could deliver projects scan be ko support e ma omudidwa businessmen e wo ho e be ko support youth groups e wo ho e provide astroturfs provide football pitches community centers water systems niema be ma omo no omo ho ato na e ma omoni nkoje sa insurgency ni niema niema hu says can ko but obviously bokufo de no scan be hye obviously scan be hye enti me friend na
inform
me friend na me ne ba be discuss a project a omo ye wo ho ne ade no so ka chere I say chief can I call you in the morning because I even have to call you and brief you on the situation in Boko as I speak to you somebody has been shot dead I have been called to come now unim ukọ Boko municipal assembly wa obi eni ho debi AMC ni so jeni odi na chipe oh yes opa de friend opa ka chere opa friend be ka chere
assembly
ana wan ka be ko
that's true
wan ka be ko ukọ eye ghost office enti MC in there say ja no political appointee ni na sudie ni say obehwe na niema akoso nti onde obekọ
and his life is at risk
nti ono say yes ono so so je ni edidi na chi a ono na yes ode ko up and down why ha see your club meetings na so ba on te hwe ohun hwe I am telling you that gentleman na de mmobo
ne ho ye mobo
why ha ohun hwe onte hwe na so wo chieftaincy dispute or district mu a
yeah
sika obese me sika me spend the work kapem not ene kwapman sense mu no ayin from ni mu nananom de no oh am say because omo de say me ne omo nyina anim omo nyina anim the amount of money you spend oh friend na aba meeting na ono na wanya ne man so na wo friend aba meeting ono abo ne ho ka wo
sa
sa o pass mje
ono abo ne ho ka
ona fa
ono abo ne ho ka na unim police for ne soldier for na e mo ba me say from 2017 December any police for tonight to time me office 2020 up to now cry that's all now every day you feed the police and you give them place to sleep
but of course
every day until baby omo da and they no mbedi anopa we na nyimre e woka every day now what the assembly nisika and kese say edisi chips compounds classroom block the amount of money I spent between 2017 December and the 2020 August and be office no e betumi see classroom blocks mako be 10
I will keep him
I'm telling you I'm telling you oh they know as I make a choice here nanu mu make omo nyina ya aware say me catch them I tell them all the time they know e do baby kura na me omo ya account no e ka ya bo me see omo na me bobo omo ya aware e to dey be feeding factions no e say make sure say police for security for obi ya o they mo bo asem
obi betimi across ya kono yo
omo mo kono e say obo obi ya ho ban waso di ne say omo mo kono e say obo obi ya ho ban because say bibi to ba ko a asamaba nti we provide security for omo nyina na wo frame meeting na say car na say omo fa one na dey car na be mo omo ba omo be didi na wo wie kra say omo kakra show omo ho because one more kakra show omo next time ko omo ma I'm telling you that's the truth that's a fact that's a fact and yet oh council one can hear what sounds so offended but that's the truth omo haye nyina yenya chieftaincy issues e wo ye areas no yen tibemufo no omanfo no yen no nananom mo di ehwamo and I say it without any reservation me equip me as a equipment so after 3-4 years so dispute no e affect yen e slow down your development fe unim tema e to de bia development no kra aba no project na aba na ye de kwako be bia de be kosi to me yen to kwa I am telling you now one and ne kwa asase ne ho asem
obi eni
when take care ebusia penny no kro de asase ne be ma no it depend on faction or one you bet you guys we take sides
odi put wo ba ho
yes enti wo nko I'm telling you enti wo nko kra because ebusia na asase ne yomo de no e bi yomo belong to group A enti wo kwaje yomo asase na de project na group B for no wasem ka mitway tamana mo ekua pem no ti 3 months bi esuru be bia megina e bia January February March wo ha nti half no omo be calm out sa na half no twabo it depends on decision akoso at every point in time it depends on the decision the next time no decision na nkwa ama na say wo ha ye be twabo sa ni ekeka na you see and they have a way we say ahensem no so ye nyina ye do ahensem no until they have a way of moving triggering the emotions of the people me to be driving them krum me car me office for car krum finfin now youth groups are best stopping me omo ball car no pap I'm telling you as why me can you ball kwase me krum once oh yes and some account that said
tell me krum kwapem
me we so
yo
if we don't speak about these things we can have solutions to them now even them ranting so ball car no see fema now be some say and I'll tell you one interesting thing who say for not be some say dey na koso a omo ka de ntia omo ye sa kirewa say e different from the amoka wodem say won dey ahemfo no ko hia wodem na two groups ni be hia na mo kasa omo pie ko abonten a esun de omo ko ka kire omo followers no completely you see obia mpese obe show weakness ama ni followers ni hu nti omo pie esun de omo ko ka enti wotie dia
enti concessions on be wo dem no niama no mbeji atum odem no mpiom so wo kan ne senso yes yampene
mi wa wapene odem o enti na prof ka say omukọ ho omunim o ka say boko for bank ra omudi agro bo omukọ ho no omunim dia oba ha ndi onim se dia wo kan ye no kre oje tum e wodem me say wo de opa wi ka say we are free honorable Brian Achempo na me na ye solve e friend say just am no a minister of state national security the friend no be catch no oni omo besre even meeting dey mu kra no ahemfo mienu no omo kono meeting dey omo sere bon komo o betra se kra be tap no but say eteden no on the transfer nasre bunja dia mo ya no jemu that sort of thing.
Yeah, they make concessions.
Yes but mo kwa bonten ya me so ohini bi to be trouble me so mbom din ohina there was one incident here called festival na me ni ho na me call ekuapem for there by US into there me be do ye no sada na odwa festivals na started me see where airport na me drive straight to ohini bi ni fie na me say na we be also then say me worry ye be ni see me handle am na me say 90 was the next stage no actual letter no sign letter no distribute letter na so me ba pepepe the next 2 hours me wanna me nya call one group say letter na watch no omo ne nya adwi ana me kwa me so no na say me ni say ono waka bibia na ya say o say wo ma friend o say letter no kwa no sign I'm telling you.
Oh boy.
Oh. Me we na me phone na me friend am to last week am say na me wa how na o say letter no we say you na say o me mbo no na me ka bibi keke me say me ntie no no me say that last week o say me say me ntie no then is that say me ka bibi a che ne keke ka wa kuma me ntie de o ka no na him na me say na say me de ama we mu won jatum o so mpene a yenye de e be ye me mbo no.
Look at this.
I'm telling you. Managing these things it is so complex that if you don't take care ube give you up.
Divisive
Yes.
and evil people.
Yes, you will give up. And the way they coin their stories, me don't penny the car can't best maybe labor point. So I'm common seminar both factions obia some yede. Obia asem yede. But the main point and say it is costing the state money. And now bokwa a ghost town. Obia anyhow. Services in nyina are grounded. Why and I benefited from this chaos? Nipa na omutim no opemfo no wuye no ono kra no obehwe no na kasakase onka ho. And I hear let's also be fair to the people of Boko. Sanya ma we see a enya kromofo nyina na ka ho. I used to tell the people in the Kiapem say not more than 10% no more interested party in the conversation. Sanya ma we ahensem na ekoso a enya we don't have more than 10% to. Eye ahemfiefo ne na me tell me kwala lata me yo odehye wo late nti me yo odehye we kropon me yo odehye we kuapem nti me se mo kan nsem we kuapem me mfa me ho say na me go ati
Yo.
me sorry me do we say
Because me nyade me nye kunga me nkan
me de mo hye mbra na me di so so I just afeso na ma baby e wukuda na ma betia akosida na ma betia ba me ye odehye. The truth of the matter is that the few people within the royalty any nipa kakra bi o na sani ama we ya omo instigate e man ye we fan say e man explode na fe omo draw all the citizens into this na eto be to me say political party lines o si wo first na me wo faction A but see ade omo say no mo yomu nyawo nti ma go faction B eno ye addition ye na ye sare on say ye nka ho ene ye de ye ho ko di I'm telling you o si o na me wo faction A but see Mako faction B, and then it costs us money. We are hiring buses to move them to meetings. We are feeding security people morning, afternoon, evening. We just say, oh yeah, meetings, freeway, and only say no more meetings. Name what you? Call him to when a movie.
There
It's all fresh or him back one backward nipa 5. It is only aim for 10 be meeting now. There's only past 16 never be meeting. Every time, all the time. Now on him wait 2 months now we are it here. Where's the tuma? Now where's what it? Where's the tuma? Santi a merry go round, sir. When we bet to me a casa or samate. What to our better so oh yeah. Yes. Now they have a way of luring us, those of us leading the country. They have a way of luring us into it. I'm telling you. Obet to me Africa is all manner ye nim komo na sense meeting obviously because dispute word until be our security for na yede. Me say mote hall money baako edin komo na bi mu hyede mu ye amamre enti the other group bet no na wo fie ho a ye amamre bi wo dem enti wo na wo bo omomomoye. I'm telling
what?
I am telling you asama me I'm giving you real life experience when you be na catch me.
Enti so it seems that you've provided them security.
Yes, it seems that you have provided them security.
That's what you. And no mo share them no mo ya mama.
Yes, obi be fra catch so wo dim say akasa ba. Enti me pese me frɛ my him for no na yetena se ne to adwen na we but send your system na yin mpacho be my police protection and then you send police protection hoping say okoye meeting na e de asodua eden
aba
o to out yes hene And what happens is that the other group would quickly accuse you. Say, it's normally what to say, and a bunch of my bunch of my boss and a tea abanyansa. They have a way. It's over to say other group, abaya protect. And you know what this other group will also do? They will also be almost the best thing we must say, someone any credit to me no. Yen a power no way ho. Who say man no day, muda want to because or catch them with a meeting to bring resolution. And Tibemano police protection.
Now they all do police.
Now they all say meeting. Oh, Hana police for say, chief, almost saying you. It's a bad day.
What?
Two things. If you make a mistake to say I was stopping now, first of all, wo as a buyer, I now saying it.
Debbie?
And now you don't determine rights. It's one to me who rituals or more ya hinsiana, enya hinsiana, de winyana, de winya. It's what do you do? Do you stop them on what basis? On what ground? Secondly, say oh stopping on so that's a way to me ya. Say I go for you na show me trim say oh ha. Nka woni ha de ene de esi yen wa me yensi. And I was down.
Who withdraw police no so
chaos beba. And I say who jano. Na say o sini here no to pay. The other group no so catch us on akobo ne ho ban. You know no so ye den. Esi hini.
Meanwhile one can't show so
see. One can't know. Me say what to say kasa ban. E de ne ho adi. Ahense mu aya to bo aseneti. Bebe na ye no kre. And then those omo catch us on ko meeting nti akoma protection no mo di kan si wachi akoma other group na nya intention say omo na wo said that by say purposely say wo be protect omo no mo tumi ide so omo ye den omo ye no na nka ban de me this am feel late ana this your boku yi ono ahense we fa no ben
there be
ono to ono how that benefit ben and as me president and as me national security minister and as me defense minister benefit ben and I'm me and as MC head of security menya from say nipa we no yo hinam ayin sam no cry ya ban e boy ka because so wo him pon wo kroma enye kakato o
there be
ko esa osum no esa osum no eti benefits ben e wo mu ma me say be yo hene anabi obedi na me as MC you know me mo kana me kwa som no say you no ba be som me enti me what do I benefit but they have a way. But could they still found a way of luring everybody into these things. But at the back where Boku situations, the government has been decisive and straight to the point. Abaye releases statement. Abaye say the Amaya no it's Yambra. Simple as that.
Yeah.
So he some black akra home. You see you hini ba could be order. Ah ye gizete no.
Ah na azoka no.
Yes, it is a whole fee say obesi fufure. You say you two on here and is your hini. Meboa. It here the Abaye the you no be kire say we no your hini we na ya Abaye na kire. Na mum Abaye krate mu no. Ye will be o ho a oye hini. Ye nyanya krate bi a kire say yetu no. It won't to me say fufure. I think that that's basically the summary of government's position on this matter.
But your insights are very interesting. You experience how very interesting.
Sisi ameno ka se opa frɛ MCE for Ipiapo no e ka da so da ho for the municipality eye ka ketwa I'm telling you opa frɛ this
yeka eka ho asem Prince Donyina former MCE or say Kwame security men in one instance when the security men arrived my officers who welcomed them felt they were tired. They took them to a restaurant and asked that they, in addition to their food, each be given a drink. Subsequent to that, they made it a policy. 1 drink a day. The day they brought me the bill, Kwame, I almost slapped somebody. And Pacho, Kwampuku Samba. In 2021, I had a small chieftaincy dispute in my district. The family that were declared victors by the Omanhene couldn't go to the community because the losing faction had taken over the town violently. I had to accommodate the winning party at the district assembly for days, including feeding. I spent hundreds of thousands of cedis on feeding and fueling the military on this. I had to leave my office at 11:30 p.m. every day and return at 6 in the morning. The whole dissect was in disarray. I was fortunate. My regional minister quickly came to our aid and we resolved the issue, though partially. Partially because just last month the issue has come up again. Chairman, they will pitch you against another family in a chieftaincy dispute whenever you want to stamp your authority. This topic you're discussing must be revisited on your show for thorough discussions. Kwame Poku CID, DC, Amansia South. Hey, Open?
Come on,
And in some course, betel.
Debbie.
Obisi, I pity the regional minister Armstrong Yakubu. From day one, he's known no peace. Our history is so seriously distorted right from the community level. Everyone says it to suit them. There's a name among the Nchumurus, Omankumete, simply meaning there was no existing town or community when we arrived. This tells you they are the owners of the community. Pegama don't call me that say. On a day in Chumurudiano Ebaye. Interesting perspectives by Miracles Abuaji. Very interesting. Trust me, Sir Obama. I have learned a lot from Miracles this morning. Say, I feel pity for Miracles. Well, Master P, he's no longer at DC or MC, so.
Could you 3 days or months?
But Dennis, who funds these things? I mean, Sebe Boko me can go be a hufi and I mean can't you be a Sebe Boko must be one of the poorest places in this country in terms of infrastructure, in terms of earnings. It says Sikai Wohoni idea. Me assure say Sebe ye can be bisa baby a ohia wa Boko ka ho. Enti wine etio AK47 tu abuba ba ko ne boy dey
me kasem bi akere because me hu bi omo fund no me hu bi. You know, in all these meetings only I finish here omo fund no so only omo shia omo ho hwe nipa ni bi wo ho a omo fi kro ni mu no mo bankan tu kwan ebo bra no mo du bebia no mo nyom ho a odu stage bi so abefie no wa besi dying get away holiday bi. You know, as a life na a cycle uso na oti kro ni mu a odu bebia ukọ odu stage bi person san befie. When those people are trying to come back home, that is when omo ni hweye omo nya resources into omo feel say omo ba be first of relevance,
dominance,
or acceptance, or person sign dominity. And in doing that,
or person
jinidin in doing that na dwi mu no or kwaje na busua ade esi ho. They are there plenty, but kwa dey came, I'm sure they are beneficiaries
and funders.
Yes, of course they are beneficiaries, funders. The yewo omo yewo nkrofo a omo de niema no eko those people they be ni ho
Debbie
na iri ni ho
Debbie
ono kro ntan ko ho obey meetings a of from mobile baby no mo share no my meeting again. Having those people in the say obechi your money at the ending oh say to the bia what it techire o we say I don't see them brand you betu sorry kakara me say my dream no openi county machi openi
yeah.
But who nim? I thought you only pass openi na ye.
Only evidence.
But only evidence. Won't me question.
But who nim?
Oh, omo ho. It's a to be a you try say the diplomacy. E be free from.
Kasade.
Oh yes. You were professors. You were doctors. You were diplomats. Near there, Sunday ma wo yomo ka ho. Omo ka ho so much to the extent say o ka hwe kra ono kra na sam kra din kra sin omo mu die che omo wo ho
omo jide
omo no mo fande se na busunya de wedu stage bi wona bra bomu a e ne se de obetumi aye ni
e de abo omo
yes
wa bone bere
and e ba ne say so e mo munya a lot of relevance any prominence e wo because you frame it bi a wona bibia ye wo bibia no ye wo yes wona obes for ye be share ebusia ne ba wona obeba oba na obechem minimum way me betumi akasa
me pese me bodin
oh
but opanyi de me na ye nyuma che yendi
oh yes
tama ye yendi ya na ntokwa no both sides in academics and a customer professor way doctor way professor way doctor way professor way doctor way na nopa mitimini way ye interview na you ya if I sometimes in the middle of the interview no me abudu for ni lawyer or doctor na kasa no now Danny for there no afre Say debi. Nti wi na so ye fa no so. Ni ene ne kasa. Empanyifo pa o.
Na me say unim de ya. De anything in fact one of the reasons I have conflict a protracted because of Sankrofo no. Sankrofo no omo be stage bi a wona omo kakasa de kra ya na nika edi. Enti wonin we mu aka nananom akeke wie omate ase ni mo one emrante na bobo awie no omo wie ensi yo. Afe na pusa we omo no mo ba ne wo be chase we ni ebe we ni empene. We yenye we enti no ma say ahye mu jabiem and they are there in fact everywhere you walk chieftaincy conflict bia no obekọ no you'll be able to identify one or two people but like I am saying on to mean sorry keke say bakoche opinion say
there
opinion na because who so opinion bi to akoboko
there
but unim what say unya ho
say intelligence
we because to no mu kro oboko no enye
better
we dey ni bio debi
and I'm say bullet AK-47 bullet back enya easy o
enti definitely omo won krofo omo to mechi
papa kwa me on ne aye kan nyina to bia metiasa na ma ye din no enwumasu amoaye
oh ade mo say boaye no
yes what makada ya bisa kwasi akwa honorable kwasi akwa because say ahemfo ba I akrache for ba ahinie mu no na be say ahinie akrache for ba ahinie mu no abesai ahinie isan say tete no utuminya oman hini bi onko school da onwura school bi mu da but otimi toto niema kama nia ese kontre o de bema no de ese akwamu o de bema no de ese chidomfo o de bema no o be hihye bibia pepepe efin bia ni hu akrachi for ba mu na krachi mu ohini odini holidays o German o free German ko twem fa Canada na sa na osi American sa no aba sika sa na beso no eti sabiem predua sa na nanum bi no omo mesika didi wo mumu dodo esen amambre eni amane ese omo ye eti akodru ba bi se obi nim se akonwan omeho ba bi a kwa uti the word audacious
audacious breaking it down mami
it comes from ode say obi edi bibia but for kra ode niema chese niema no
ne dia
okay ena share your
boundary
the audacious gina homa enipa kuonu a krono asase no omunim anu nyina oman na hye so nyina omuna ye omodia enti se obi free baby tete no na nipa etu bi a okoton ne ma bi na oya o me pe baby ada no ada ya man baby na eda foforo oba o de ne ma bi aba o de sa na dako o se okremani akam na bi a wakọ ware obi nya ware pe na fe opasase enti na ohene ne so ene ye twa ha ma na kotra ho na obi so aba onso so obi a me betu tuo na me yirae e na mbesi kwaye mu na odon so aya opasase enti se de odihye no ono na krono ya ne dia na mo amaba beto no wa hwe na fe wa bobom akonwa nketenkete eti se eba na se wo no ubeto ne na oho dada hye ne ndia untumi nkosan no ya se krokoto enya se krokosene wakoto no onkosene no but enwuma ba mu no obi oho a onim se krona de hye no yan kantra se oka ho ba bia asuanwuma oye professor oye doctor oye engineer enti onim se ono de krono skaba krono a nkofo nyina betu adwumati eno ka ahensem no ho a se ema ye bre if say de me ade wono no odi o kwa me nya de kom de no
David
enti say ya ma enwuma suafo trase na ye hu se o ade ni kwan ni me nananom say ne ka kire me akonwa we de me ho ba bia ba ya na ya de enwuma sua no so sisi nkofo say philosophy aya ye nyina onim say PhD doctor of philosophy
yeah
achese wakan niema uteniema se ye utimu se o ka we ni we bomo ebedane ama we na say we num nyina na ye ntumi mmoa na ye mom na ye toto o man na se e ma ntokwa ba mu a ene na ne
permanent head damage
asa adani bioka PhD permanent head damage
that idea hu pa o wiase ne ene nwoma sua sini
so when sua wie
well the car body and car na say on sabeka bi o na ka nyansa o de bata homa na di mu no eno ne ene jejeje e fa free ho
Openly lawyer Abrantier call a suman or the adventure biaba or say conflict drives away development. Miracles has done a great job and given us good insights into the management of these chieftaincy disputes. But I think the national conversation should be had on the role of chieftaincy in our country and national development. I know that there are other countries that have come to Ghana to learn from our chieftaincy institution and how it subsists with our democracy and constitution. So there's something good about chieftaincy, but we have to have an extensive national conversation. Blessed morning to you all.
Come here, African studies. Yeah, Professor Arinodo te American once a month.
Professor Arinodo,
almost a project be chieftaincy in Ghana. The edited published book no men how many a 1,000 pages here there yes kasi be a hard copy cover na yellow come in the kasi be say to say na me susu me say
e mudo
me say ahin somewhere war of man afa na nyina nkofo e o paper and say at baby at
Look, let me never call him Yapon because we need to be a meka.
Chairman, yeah, meka na me say Timu bi on say. O man penny for en kan aban. O mama emra na nya adwuma. Nia o pese o man bo, ni o pese ni o mpese asomdwe beba boko no. Enye boko nko an. The other places. Yen hwe say ya bema mra na ye adwuma. San say Chairman, ebi musu believe say conflict is not bad. Kind of theory na ebi musu nimsa say conflict in sheda anya de boni. Yere so a kodu ba bia na abeto form boko. Obi ari na dwen na pani kan say adesua no. Obi kro to mission de adu ba bia o say onyame ni ho. Enti obi ari na obetumi a justify kra say ade ayeye ade papa ye nkoso ne enye. But say esan say ye nyina ya adwene nkobe nkrom nti na police station ho nti na court ho nti oman mpani emma mra ne adwuma ye ntumi nkosisa ye sika nyina sori ahomachi jama 4 am na ebi mo sori o 2 na ya adwuma ne ato 25% say income tax ne de akọ so akon ano minum ye no sika ne de yes adwuma
yeah,
and that's why we have to be involved in this. Say etwaso a kodu ba bia yentumi so nya say sebe omo amunku omo da bi enti omo ye ne enye no omo no omo ni ya
Obi say a friend Henry or say Chairman General, most of the youth from the northern parts of Ghana work very hard, save money and buy guns. They don't hide them in their homes, but they hide them in their farms and in the bushes. If you are friendly with them, share a drink, talk about security, history, chieftaincy, land ownership, revenge on past killings, they will tell you how they are piling up weapons. Disarmament must start ruthlessly from the north. Arms smuggle should be monitored. Henry, thank you. You remind me of former Interior Minister Malik Alasan Yakubu. Mekai Tama Dagba Semnisi inside this armament program be oye. And also bro brave
something funny means anything about security. But what shall so
oh me dem mesia
Chairman only say V8 ni casa air fare kesi omo na nambari ani ade aye nsechi omo eyo omo ana di etu ekoi
oh na no etu ai no bitimi ekura Obekaya police for your intelligence operation bi. Omo ko che bus bi.
Yes.
I will kwan finfini a air stream. Etuo be 80 pieces. A shit.
Asio. Omo station e kolodu ye o. Obi enhu.
Come on. Onim se mamprisi for ene kusase for enye bokonkon anomo.
Omo baby a. Omo kumasi, omo nkran.
Yeti anye yie na.
It is a teacher or what?
Na ebi wo kokomba market wa ha.
Se bi si penalty se ye kum menua kusase ni a. Kusase ni na one no wa ha na ne ho aye ne. But on Crawford na kum Crawford. Samso na se otese mamprusi ni bi na yabo no tue ya. Ohia mamprusi ni bi a na ono so hu enti kwame se ya hwe ni yie se aye se sumra so gye ya no fen ewumu ana pagya na kofoma se ka se ba na bi azongo wo bia ebetumi aye nti braso se bi de ade ni nyina gina kusase fo ne mamprusi fo so tom omo anim de fo nsore no mo kan bi maye
na se nim de fo ya na techre prof
no na wa hwe ya na amumasua no question mark bi wo ho Musa Abatwa Kumase say maybe government should divide the community into 2 equal parts and each faction should take one.
Omeko ye fu another side. Tell ye yanchi omo ha dwen na simple.
Yes,
na aware de nkambo mu ba o.
Nka we but oma wari nso o.
Nka no kra aboase o we masenom te ha. Na mo de amuni masenom te ha. Makuma ni ho. Makontanso ni na ede ho.
Couscous in Asokwa says, I shall sponsor today's program next week, God willing, with the same panel to continue insights and education. We need this as a country. Well, thank you for agreeing to sponsor. And no, so by those There are experts in this country I know who are historians. Government should put them together with some opinion leaders, indigents, and the oldies to identify and solve the problems once and for all. The real owners of the land should be identified in order to bring sanity. Jesse Boakwin Mamprobi. And a prof can, if they will agree. It is getting embarrassing for those of us from the north. I want to use this opportunity to appeal to former President Mahama and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to join hands and talk to the people of Boko. Again, my brothers and sisters from Boko should emulate the peaceful lifestyle of the Dagatis and Frafres. Let's give peace a chance and allow us, let's give peace a chance and allow us to continue criticizing the bad government of Nanado. Bobo Kele in Bemakam. In one breath, you want Mahama and Bawumia together. In another breath, you want peace to criticize. Anyway, it is better to criticize than to fight a battle, you know.
General.
Minia. Prof. Medasi, Miracle Sadi Kamedanasi.
CFO, Chief Finance Officer or Central University. Mrs. Lily Nutako.
Mrs. Lily Nutako.
And then I had birthday.
Auntie Lily. Yama Utrinkwa, Mrs. Lily Nutako.
Fantastic woman.
Oh, yeah. Nah, Charlie, conflict you. I know be a kind me about the Hutus and Tutsis. No, Rwanda. I say, Kwame, in Tanzania.
Yes, sir.
That was Rwanda. I know the Hutus and the Tutsis is sad, really sad. There's a story about Obia Oma Yekukune brother ni wie na ne brother ni ne ma. Isane say omoye Hutus no. Omoye kwachiom. Ade asem kredi. Ade asem kredi. Yenko be akwe. Amanziba has given us a song. Let's end with that one.